Peace Lutheran Primary School opened its doors to its first students on the 31st of January 1984. Since then, it has grown under God's guiding hand to be a thriving Christian community with some 206 students. 1994 is the 10th anniversary year of Prince of Peace School. In 1935, a 3-hectare block of Crown land was sold at public auction to Clark Edwin Rogers for the sum of £40. This inauspicious property went on to become a small crops farm for a Mr. Henry Grice in 1958. It is from these humble beginnings that the Prince of Peace Lutheran Church and School were raised. In 1982, the Prince of Peace congregation in Mordrell Terrace, Chermside, felt the need to increase the outreach of the parish. After prayerful deliberation, they decided to open a much-needed Christian school in the northwest suburbs of Brisbane, under the guidance of Pastor Glenn Schultz.
I wondered sometimes what kept people going in this, and clearly it came back to the point that it was their commitment to the mission and the ministry that God had given us in the church. There was basically two thrusts for that. Jesus said, "Come, follow me, and go and make disciples." And that was the commitment that was evident amongst people who moved through and carried this project through. And it brought a lot of joy to a lot of people.
The Grice property, complete with a new brick house, which later on became the manse, was purchased on the 1st of March 1982. The official groundbreaking ceremony and the dedication of the site was conducted on the 21st of August 1983, led by Pastor Glenn Schultz and the chairman of the congregation, Mr. Lindsay Edzer. A federal election, a change of government, problems with tenders and constant interruptions by rain caused delays in the completion of the school buildings. With scant facilities in place, the school was opened to the public on the 31st of January 1984, and 58 students descended on the incomplete buildings. With a lot of humour, tolerance and prayerful assistance, the staff of 4 and volunteer helpers battled to teach the children amidst the noise and bustle of painters, electricians, jackhammers and graders. Year 1 teacher Honey O'Brien shares her recollections of that time.
In October 1982, parents came to the church manse to enrol their children. A concrete slab was the only evidence of progress at that stage. The first day arrived. School furniture had been unloaded in the early hours of that morning. Parents arrived with children in tow. God had provided and would surely continue to provide the strength, patience and perseverance needed to teach under trying conditions.
Some early students share their views of early school life.
Being my 6th year at school, I found Prince of Peace to be really different to what I was used to. We were faced with a lot of noisy and messy conditions, semi-furnished rooms, and we had to try and remain calm amongst all the confusion and disorganisation. But I guess this gave the school a sense of attraction or atmosphere, and it provided a family spirit for us all.
One of the most things I can remember is the school grounds. There wasn't any gardens. It was just, most of it was dirt, and it had been raining, so everything was muddy. And the oval was just mud, and all the classrooms were new. But it was good to start where everything was new, because it made it easier for everyone.
I can still remember when we first turned up, there was no bag racks at all, and I can remember someone saying the furniture was only just arrived that morning, and it was all in a shambles. People were still working on the different places, and the classrooms were just finished, and there wasn't very much to do at all except just leave your bags outside or inside the classroom and just sit down and talk.
When the building building work was complete, voluntary labour from the parents of the students and members of Prince of Peace congregation added the final landscaping touches. When the 18th of March arrived, the day of the official opening and dedication, some of the original greenery had been restored and all the rooms were in full use. This service was conducted in the open and was led by Pastor Schultz, and the opening performed by the principal, Mr. David Dakey. The dedication address was given by Reverend Rolf Mayer, President of the Lutheran Church of Australia. With building turmoils at an end and the official ceremonies completed, the new Prince of Peace Primary School began to forge ahead under the direction of its first principal, Mr. David Dakey.
The ethos of the school and what we stood for, parents wanted to see it actually happening before they became involved or made any commitment themselves. And I believe in that first year, even though there were difficulties and our grounds weren't completed and there were still plenty of stone heaps and so on, what happened within the school was very, very important. And with the dedicated staff that we had, parents soon saw that the school really did have something very special to offer.
Despite limited resources, the school was soon functioning smoothly. Camps, concerts, day trips and special activity days made life active and invigorating for our pioneer students.
This is Jerry Smith, and I had the privilege of being principal of Prince of Peace from 1986 to 1992. I recall that time as a time of changes and consolidation in the school. We went from some composite classes to single grade classes throughout, redesigned some spaces to meet our needs during building programs by using staff room, storage room, and even the church, and finally constructed Stage 2, as well as initiated Stage 3. It was a time in which the school developed houses, choir, library facilities, inter-school sporting programs, and experienced steady growth. They were years of challenges and changes, but years filled with blessings for those associated with the school. May God continue to give Prince of Peace many blessings.
The next major milestone that occurred for Prince of Peace was the opening of the worship centre on site. Previously, all church services had been held in the classrooms. Pastor Paul Renner, President of the Lutheran Church of Australia, Queensland District, officially unveiled the dedication stone on the 29th of June 1986. The worship centre has since become the focal point for the spiritual life of the Prince of Peace school community. It is used regularly for chapel services led by Pastor Peter Tham and various class teachers. Special family services are also conducted during the school year, to which parents are warmly invited to attend. Pastor Peter Tham comments on the worship life of the school.
One thing that I've appreciated this year at Prince of Peace is the establishment of a worship committee. This committee has assisted in providing some themes for our weekly chapel devotions, for our staff devotions, and also for our family services that we hold each term.
By 1988, the school numbers had expanded to 195 with a staff of 9. Stage 2, consisting of 2 new classrooms, was opened and dedicated on the 5th of June 1988 by Pastor Paul Renner. As the school grew, so did its extracurricular activities. Children began to get involved in inter-school sports, a school choir and band were formed, and some of our children even performed at Expo 88. Fates and art and craft days have become annual events which open our school to the wider community, encouraging the general public to observe our school facilities, buildings, and children's artistic talents. Special feature days within the school curriculum have provided the years with fun-filled times, nurturing the spirit of cooperation, sharing and participation in students. Even teachers and parents have entered into the fun of it all. Regular camps at Guga Outdoor Education Centre are held each year to give children a taste of outdoor life whilst fostering their independent and adventurous spirits. Our concerts are highlights of each year. Here, children are encouraged in their artistic, musical and acting pursuits. Along with all the internal growth of the school's activities come corresponding growth of the school grounds. Under the patient hand of the school groundsman, Mr. Doug Berger, areas were paved and beautified. In 1990, a demountable building was constructed on site to allow for a temporary overflow of student numbers. 1992 saw the opening of Stage 3, introducing another 2 classrooms and a large covered area to the layout of the grounds. 1993 saw the construction of a large bitumen area behind Stages 2 and 3, suitable for many sports including basketball and netball. All these things could not have occurred without the help and guidance of a dedicated staff and large force of volunteer helpers. With committed Christian principles, they have sought to guide the children in their care in all their spiritual, physical and emotional needs. With equally committed Christian ideals, P&F groups, church and school council committees, men's and ladies' auxiliaries and various other groups have also contributed to the growth of Prince of Peace School. From a cabbage patch to a thriving Christian community. Where to now, Prince of Peace? Ian Marks, current principal of the school, comments on the future.
When we consider where Prince of Peace is going in the future, I think the first thing we have to acknowledge is the past through which Prince of Peace has come. We've seen on this video how the dreams and aspirations of a number of people have been translated into reality. They've been brought about through the grace of our God and through the gifts and talents which He has endowed many people with. The driving force has been, I believe, the vision which people had for the outreach, for the ministry of this school to the community. And as we go forward now and look forward to the next 10 years of Prince of Peace towards the year 2004, we can again think about this vision for ministry which Prince of Peace can have. So as we go forward, as we consider the future of Prince of Peace, let us all focus on this saving word which He has given to us, and let us concentrate on the ministry ahead of us so that we can proclaim this to the community and that we can provide a Christ-centred education, a Christ-centred quality education for the people of this community.
Prince of Peace Primary School, celebrating 10 years of children, teachers and parents growing together in Christ at Everton Hills.